Hello and welcome to Boomer and Beyond Wellness. I'm Angelafischetti. So today's workout is shoulders, chest, back with planks for those of you yoga lovers and supersets where we work two different exercises back to back without rest. Now the accessories we'll be using today will be a sticky yoga mat. I'll also be using my workout bench. However, it's not a must. For the exercises that are supine, meaning on our backs face up, you can feel free to go to the floor or onto your bed. I will also be using a knee pad for additional cushioning, and it can also be doubled up as an elbow cushion. And I'm using a variety of weights between 10 to 25 pounds. I'll also be using a monster cord and a couple of things here for form, not for resistance. So for form, I'm bringing in a fit ball, and if you have a 9-inch Pilates ball, that will do as well, and an exercise noodle. So I'm going to use them when appropriate. And also for those of you who are medicated or not for hypertension, have vertigo or GERD, I would advise you to take a hand towel and fold it up, place it under your head for those supine exercises. Not more than one, please, because it can really throw the cervical spine out of alignment. Now, before I go any further into our medical disclaimers and precautionary measures, a blanket statement. If you have any chronic health concern at all, I invite you to watch the videos first. Do not participate. However, look for what you can do. And if you're unsure, then you can invite the medical healthcare practitioner who knows your body best to preview the video as well to help you make an informed decision. Now, specific to this workout, if you have a latex allergy, be careful, folks. You do want to look for non-latex or latex-free when it comes to the mat, to the monster cord, to either the fit ball or the Pilates 9-inch ball, and to that knee pad / elbow cushion. And I'm not 100% sure, but I think even the upholstery on the workout benches has a little bit of latex, so be careful. Also, if you have carpal tunnel syndrome, these plank postures I'm going to be doing, well, for you to be in this wrist position, this is wrist extension, it is contraindicated. So I'm going to give you all my modifications and tips during this chat with you. And don't worry about it, I will have a timestamp for you in the show notes. So when you return for the replay, you can just bypass all of this and go right into the workout. So for those of you with carpal tunnel syndrome, I want you to make a soft fist, which means do not curl your fingernails into the flesh of your skin, right? So you just make a light closure here of the fingers, and then when you place the hands down, your wrists will be straight. And I will demonstrate this during the workout as well. And for those of you who have back spine flexion issues, where you've been advised not to bend down to pick up something, especially something of weight, this could apply to those of you with osteoporosis of the spine, however, not exclusive to it, and even to those of you with the postural deviation known as hyperkyphosis, where we're kind of hunched over in appearance. So I'm going to grab the exercise noodle and show you something. I will be doing an exercise called the bent over bilateral, which means both sides at the same time, back row. So that bent over is a giveaway for you that it's a contraindication for back spine flexion issues. Now, typically it looks like this, where you pull. So the emphasis is on the pull. Why not just do it standing up, where you bring your chest up toward the exercise noodle? The main thing I'm looking here for you is to retract those shoulder blades, but to do it without a forward head posture, that tech neck appearance. So that could be of use for you there. Let's see what else I wanted to mention here for you. Yes, for those of you with golfers or tennis elbow, those plank poses could be an issue. And I'm sorry, I cannot offer you a modification because the symptoms are unique to each individual. You do need to seek further medical advice if bicep tricep work is good for you. Now, I'm going to re-invite those of you, medicated or not, for hypertension, but those of you also who have rotator cuff muscle issues or pinched nerve at the neck. I'm going to be doing a front lat pull down position. Now, you may have been advised not to bring the arms up and overhead. So guess what? You can do that bent over bilateral back row. So that could be an alternative for you folks. And I'm trying to see here if there's anything else. I think we've got it all covered, but you never know during the workout if I mention something. Now, a couple of gentle reminders. Always feel free to stop and rest whenever you need to during the workout, but it is not an invitation for you to quit. You stop, take a couple of breaths, and then return to the work, even if it's for one more repetition. Also, keep yourselves properly hydrated with water. However, if you have been advised medically to avoid drinking a lot of water, maybe for kidney or bladder issues, you follow that advice. Now, on the channel, I want you to look for, please, a warm-up and cool-down video, one video where you can interchange the movements. It is important for those of us 55 years and above to warm up for a full 10 minutes prior to any workout. Also within the channel, please go to the Post tab, and it was formerly known as the Community tab, and there you will find a link to the Rating of Perceived Exertion chart, RPE scale, and this is a 0 through 10 subjective scale that is a really could be an excellent tool to gauge your sense of effort for those of you who might have a pacemaker, or maybe you're taking certain medications like beta blockers, or maybe you just don't know how to take your training or exercise heart rate. So it is suggested for the demographic of my channel to work out at an RPE between 3 and 6 on that chart. And also, while in that post tab, look for some reference screenshots. Now, what are we going to do here today for you folks with this shoulders, chest, and back with planks supersetting workout? Well, I'm going to teach you 8 exercises vertically, and we're going to do one set of each exercise, and a set is typically a group between 8 to 15 repetitions. After the vertical approach, we then move into the supersets, and that's where we bring in all the exercise toys. But if you want to stay with the noodle and that fit ball, or holding nothing, but definitely applying your own sense of internal resistance to the work, you are invited to do so. So let's start here. Let's just chat for a moment about the athletic ready stance. Basically, I'm in it, but I'm just going to break it down. You bring your hands to the inside of the high hip bones, called the iliac crest, not to the outside, to the inside, and point those fingers straight down, lining up to the knees, down to the ankles, toes in the same line as each other. Turning to the side, please avoid tipping the pelvis forward. It's called an anterior pelvic tilt. We don't want to do that. However, we do want to do a slight subtle posterior pelvic tilt, drawing the belly button in, also known as a pelvic tuck. So the first block will be what is called a pullover, and then I'm going to combine this with a unilateral, one side at a time, high plank pose. So I'm going to grab that fit ball for the pullover, coming on to my back. Remember, those of you who need the towel for the head. So we bring the arms up, and then we drop the ball back over the head and almost scoop it up toward the ceiling. Now notice, I am not bringing the ball all the way down to the belly button. A lot of people do that. You want to stop about mid-chest. Inhale and exhale. Keep that chest puffed up. You don't want to collapse the chest. You might have a subtle little arch in the back that would be appropriate. excellent exercise for the serratus anterior, for your latissimus dorsi, that big swimmer's muscle. And we're going to do one more repetition. Inhale and exhale through the nose. Pause at the peak of the contraction, which is right here. And slowly take it up. The next one is that unilateral high plank. Now, when I actually do the work full out, I'm going to tie in the monster cord, but not now. So coming down onto the knees. So this is where carpal tunnel syndrome wants to be careful, right? Because technically the palms are flat. I'm going to do that little soft fist for you folks. Now the thing you can do here for beginners, and I will work it on the demonstration like so for you, you can do this unilaterally with one knee down. Now in the demonstration part here, I'm doing this, when I say that, the unresisted, I'm just going to do 15-second hold on each side. Let's lower the knee down and bring the opposite one out. And just holding for 15 seconds. Breath in and out through the nose. Draw that belly button up and in. And push the ground away. Avoid sagging the head down. Let's lower the knee down and slowly roll it up. And I take half the cat hair with me, but I did vacuum, I promise. Now, for the next block, we have the bent knee front lat pull down along with a chest press. I'm choosing a wide grip, but you can also go narrow grip if that's your choice. Now, I am going to do this sitting down on the bench because I want you to see the arms with full extension here. So bringing the arms up, I'm going to lean back a little bit and take that front lat pull down. I'm imagining that I am trying to pull a really heavy bar toward my chest as I lift the chest up toward the bar. And you exhale on the pull, inhale on the release. No collapsing of the chest, folks. Getting those scapulae, those shoulder blades to work. Really excellent for the males in the house as a massage therapist. I do find that they kind of get stuck on the men. And hold for the moment and slowly lower down. Now, coming on to the back, I'm going to grab the exercise noodle for this. Yes, for my wide grip chest press. I'm going to go really wide here. I'm going to show you what I mean in the moment. So, in a moment, I should say. So I'm going to bring it up. I am holding the outside edges of that noodle. Puff up the chest toward the ceiling. Inhale. Exhale. Push. So this is the opposite of that back row, right? And when we're working this exercise, we're working the pectoral muscles of the chest, the tricep muscles, the back of those upper arms, even the anterior deltoids, the front deltoids, those shoulder muscles. Let's go for one more, folks. Inhale, exhale on the effort, pause at the peak of the contraction. Slowly take it on up. And for our next block, we're going to do an upright row with a low plank. Now, a low plank is a great option for those of you with carpal tunnel. So I'm going to see this, the OK sign of the thumbs, lifting like so in that athletic ready stance. Now, notice what I'm not doing, and I have changed this since several years ago when I first filmed this exercise for you. I no longer lift the elbows higher than the shoulders. We have found that it compromises the shoulder. So just keep that elbow a little bit lower. Exhale up. Slow on the down. And doesn't this look familiar? Maybe when people lift their groceries out of the trunk of the car or lift their luggage out of the trunk of the car. Last one. Always tying in activities of daily living with the movements. Now, low plank. Again, I'm going to demonstrate this unilaterally for those of you who might not be able to lift both legs. So, wrists, elbows, shoulders, same line as each other. Fingers stretched wide apart. Belly button in, pushing the ground away. No sinking down. And holding for a few more seconds before we change sides. Let's lower and take it over to the other side. We don't want to pop the tail up toward the ceiling, nor do we want to sink and collapse in that lower torso. Holding here, fingers stretched wide, biceps working, and lower the knee down, walking the hands in toward the knees. Take your time, slowly rolling up, and if you need to, you can take your stretch, your little rests in between the sets, but I would advise let it be an active rest like this. All right, now we have, I believe, for our last block, that bent over bilateral back row, and we're going to do this with the Pec Fly. That's the one exercise also, I should say the other exercise where I'm not going to be holding anything, but your own resistance counts. So I'm going to straddle the feet a little bit wider than the hips. Notice it's not here, flat back, and we pull. Those of you who need to stay upright for the exercise. So what are we working here? Those back muscles, rhomboids between the shoulder blades. We're working the posterior deltoid muscles, the rear deltoid, backs of the shoulders. And because it's a pull, we're working the biceps. One more repetition. Inhale, exhale. Slowly lower it, and then we come back to our bench onto the backs, and I want you to visualize you're creating this big bear hug. So we open, inhale, exhale, puff up that chest. Now, avoid clanking the hands together. Don't do that, folks. Don't clank your weights on a Pec Fly. There should be a couple of inches distance between the hands. Pause at the peak of the contraction. And when you have weights in your hands here, folks, and especially when the lever is further away from your body, there's a lot of core muscle activity going on. And one more. Inhale, exhale, reach up, and slowly release. Okay, so you ready to tie in the toys? Let's do this thing. So the first exercise is the pullover. I'm using a 25-pound weight coming onto our backs, and we're going to do this with the unilateral high plank. That's when I'll tie in the monster cord for those of you who want to level up. So here we go. Bring it back. Pause. Inhale. Exhale. Lift it up. Wow, lots of abdominal, lots of core. Exhale. 2 more repetitions. Pull. Uno más. Now easy lowering it down. Coming down for that unilateral high plank. Now this was the main reason why I'm wearing my gloves, folks, is for the monster cord. Okay, bringing it over your shoulders, placing it, hands, palms are flat here. So we lift unilateral one side at a time, 30-second hold on each side. You don't have to, folks. You can lower the knee down. That's okay as well. But I'm not looking for much longer than a minute hold on these planks, everybody. That takes us way into endurance. Nothing wrong with that, but we don't focus very much here on endurance on this channel at all. Keep breathing in and out through the nose. So elbows are straight, belly button in, quadriceps engaged. I'm going to change sides now. Hold steady. There's a slight external lateral rotation of the shoulder joint so that your eyes of the elbows, the elbow creases, are facing straight out in front. Try not to sag the head, no saggy hips or a mid-torso. Keeping those thighs up. A couple of more seconds here. Slowly lower down. Now be careful when you use the monster cord because it can really snap away from you. Back to the pullover, folks. Supersetting. Keep yourselves hydrated. This is South Florida where I live. And ooh la la, it's been 100 degrees with the heat index for quite some time now. I normally do not like to work out with the AC on, but I need a lot of lights on when I do these videos for you. So yes, the AC is on. Exhale, pull, pause. Inhale to lower. Exhale on the effort. You can hear it. One more. And exhale, easy. Lowering it down. And coming back to the floor to grab that monster cord, unilateral high plank. Push the ground away. Breath in and out through the nose. Push back through the heels. Send energy back, but send energy forward through your heart center and out the crown of the head. And breathe. And change sides. Fingers stretched wide apart. And there might be a little bit of trembling. That's okay, but if the tremble takes over, lower one knee down. Stay with the breath. A couple more seconds here. And gently lower, easy on the release of that monster cord. Set it aside. And take your time, slowly roll on up. Let's take a couple of shoulder rolls. So for the next block, we're going to have that bent knee, front lat pull down. You don't have to come onto your knees. You can stand, and you can even sit down on your bench. So I'll be using 10 pounds for this, and we're going to couple this with chest press. So I'm going to put my weights up onto the bench here to prepare. I'll be using 18-pound weights for that wide grip chest press. All right, take it down for that bent knee front lat pull down. I do this only because I do like to stand a lot for my exercises for sure. It's just a little bit of a different approach, and it makes me work a bit harder. It's more challenging. And pause at the peak. Oh, yeah. 2 more. Ooh la la. 1 more. Pause. Slowly down. Be careful when you approach your bench, especially if you have a lot of stuff around like I have. So notice when I do this, I keep the thighs and the weights in touch until I get onto my back. Wide grip, push, pause. Focus on a non-moving point on the ceiling for your gaze here. Keep that chest puffed up. Again, it's a push movement, right? Exhale. So there is that arch in my low back or mid back. But if it bothers you, put that 1 foot up on the bench, folks, to give your back a little break. 2 more. Exhale, push. Whoa. 1 more. Hold here. Bring your thighs to the weights to the thighs, especially as those weights get heavier. And I like to crisscross them to hopefully prevent any kind kind of falling or rolling off. Okay. Little shift here on the angle. I bring my knees wider than the hips and pull. So great for the scapulae so they can glide. Pause. Oh, yeah. 2 more. 1 more. I want to bring it up and take it down again. There we go. I'm going to set these off to the side. Move this out of the way. Coming to that bench for that wide grip chest press. I might demonstrate the narrow grip for you as well. Take it down. Narrow grip. Palms face each other, a little bit more tricep involvement. I'm going to choose to stay with the wide grip. Three more. Uno más. Push, push, push. Thighs to weights, weights to thighs. All right, setting these down. What's my next block? All right, upright row. So I'm going to grab my 12-pounders for this. And we're going to do this with the low plank. Okay, athletic ready stance. Thumbs up position on the collar of the weight. That's the head of the weight. And here we go. See that? Elbows are just a hint lower than the shoulders. Pause at the peak. I have to make sure my left scapula, you see it as my left, but it's my real right. I want to make sure that arm is properly in the socket because I have a winged scapula on that side. I do love this exercise. 2 more. And now down to that low plank. So I'm going to show you another hand position. Interlock your fingers, and then you see that free pinky there? I'm going to tuck it in. Then when I close the hands, they're going to be flush to the floor. So let's try that. Oop, weights are in the way. Hello. There we go. One more time here, folks. Okay. I'm going to take it like so, flush, and legs out. I'm doing this unilaterally, folks. You can do it bilaterally or unilaterally, holding 30 seconds. Lots and lots of work here on those biceps. So we want to be careful here with the golfers and tennis elbow, folks. So it's very easy to just sink down. Don't let it happen. And if you have an issue with your neck and holding that head up, you can always take a yoga block, level 3, and place it underneath your forehead. Change sides. So taking the ball of one foot back on the heel of the opposite foot, or even up on the ankle a bit. Push away. No sagginess, no drooping down. A few more seconds. And take it down. Ooh la la. Let's go back to our upright row. Thumbs up on the collars of the weight. You can see the elbows are just a bit lower than the shoulders. I'm going to go for 2 more. Keep that chin up, Angela. One more. And I'm going to take them over here. Get them out of my way for the moment. I will need them for the next exercise, though. Okay, or I should say the next block. So let's do this flat palm now. And again, I'm going to do it unilaterally. Just for me, that's just a little bit more effort. Again, careful of those biceps. Certainly these shoulders get work. All plank poses, folks, are compound movements, meaning you are working multiple large muscles and multiple joints simultaneously, which is the beauty of them. Couple more seconds. Change sides. Avoid this. Don't let that low back collapse. Looking down and out. A few more seconds. Ooh, man, I feel this. Lower down and easy coming up. Yep, I'm starting to sweat here. Slowly rolling up. Take a couple of shoulder rolls again. It just releases them. And then for the final block, we have the bent over bilateral back rows along with the Pec Fly. So for the bent over bilateral back row, I'm using 18 pounds. And for the Pec Fly, I'll be using 12 pounders. All right, let me grab those 18 pounds facing you. Well, I'm going to actually face a bit of an angle here. I like to bring the legs wider than the hips for this. No rounding, pull. Exhale, pull, pause. Belly button in. Looking down and out. Move those scapulae, those shoulder blades. 2 more. Ooh la la, setting them down for the moment. Coming to the bench for that Pec Fly. You can stand upright and do this as well, folks. Why not? If you find getting up and down is too much. Big bear hug. So you're going to feel there's definitely bicep involvement here as well, because those elbows, they are slightly flexed. They're slightly soft. But certainly the pectoralis major and the anterior deltoids, they always get a lot of work on chest work. I'm trying to be as specific as possible. Pause at the peak of the contraction right here. Dos más. Careful, slowly lower the weights toward your thighs. Crisscross. All right, let's grab those 18 pounders. Bent over bilateral back row. I'm going to face you this time. See, I like to bring the feet a bit wider than the hips here. Toes same line. And pull, pause. You can play with this. You can alternate it, right? One more here. And bilateral now. And easy coming up. Set those weights down. Let's go for that Pec Fly, the last of the exercises before we move into a bit of a cool down for you. Inhale, open, reach up. Reach out and up. Keep focusing on that non-moving point. In yoga, we call that the drishti, a point upon which to gaze. Exhale. Two more. One more. And slowly lower. Let's crisscross those weights. All right, now, I love to do spine movements after I'm done with my strength training. So my body just feels like I'm going to place the hands on my sacrum, the flat triangular plate at the low back. Be careful here with carpal tunnel. You can bring the hands down lower to keep those wrists straight. With the feet wider than the hips, I'm going to do this little belly dance, real slow, tight movement. I'm not straightening the knees, and I'm not doing this, folks. Hula hoop or belly dance, whatever image works best for you. Oh, it feels so good. Now stand all the way upright. I'm going to keep the feet where they are, just double checking that my toes are in the same line as each other. Some lateral flexion, side bending. So I'm going to reach down as I take my sternum, my breastbone, lift it up and away from the floor. I don't want to collapse the side organs. Now, for those of you who are medicated or not for hypertension, have rotator cuff or pinched nerve at the neck, bring your hand to your waist here. For the rest of us, feel free to travel your arm up and over, but no matter what, I want both elbows straight. So if that means this arm has to be out there, that's okay. So reaching out through both sets of middle fingers, stretching beautiful breathing accessory muscles here, folks. The intercostals between the ribs, the internal, external oblique muscles at the waist. Inhale, turn that palm up. Grab an imaginary hook. Exhale, push down into that left heel to come up. Take it over to the other side, sternum up, hand to waist, or arm up and over. Breathing in and out through the nose. Do not do this. A lot of people do this. Don't let it happen, especially if you have scoliosis. Inhale, turn the palm up, grab a hook, push into your right heel. Exhale, come back to center. Just take a couple of nice big shoulder rolls. Now you could stay right here, but I'm going to turn to the side. I do want to keep the feet wider than the hips. I want to get some back spine extension. It's just simply some back bending. So place the hands again on the sacrum, carpal tunnel down lower. And I'm going to bend the knees and just push the hips forward. So it's as if I'm sliding one side of the sacrum at a time down toward the heels. Does it slide? No, it doesn't. It's just an image. Now, for those of you who have had a TIA, a transient ischemic attack, or a stroke, you keep your chin neutral. The rest of us, except for arthritic necks, gently, but you can feel free to hyperextend the neck. The neck is capable of it. Oh, feels so good. And you can also do this with straight knees. Contract those quadriceps. Now inhale, bring the head up first. Exhale, bring the torso back up. Take some nice big shoulder rolls. Now folks, I'm going to send you over to that warm up and cool down video for 5 minutes. I want you to do a little bit more, bring the heart rate down, get yourself down to a resting level. And also feel free to subscribe to the channel, right? As always, feel free to subscribe to the channel, and please share the videos, give it a kind comment, and don't forget to hit that notification bell. And if you would like to receive my free monthly news newsletter, go to my website, which is boomerandbeyondwellness.com, and go to the subscribe tab there. And when you do subscribe, you will receive a thank you workout video from me. It's a full body workout. I designed it exclusively for those of you who are newsletter subscribers. So until next time, eat your greens, eat your beans, drink your water, and I thank you for your support. Be well.